BBC experts check the facts behind the stories making the headlines. Go to the BBC News website and app for accurate information on the coronavirus vaccines. Reality Check. Get the facts straight.
This is BBC News. Welcome if you're watching here in the UK or around the world. I'm Martine Croxall. Our top stories. At least 35 people are killed and dozens injured in a missile attack on a Ukrainian military base near the Polish border.
According to preliminary data, more than 30 missiles were fired. The air defence system worked and a number were shot down.
The facility is used for training with NATO instructors. It's not clear if any were at the base when it was hit. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky visits injured soldiers at a hospital in Kiev and thanks them for their service.
Get better soon. Wishing you strength. You're great. This is all for you, and all this is on your shoulders. This is the most important thing.
The US journalist Brent Renaud is shot dead in the town of Irpin, the first foreign reporter to die in the conflict. Poland's president tells the BBC that if Russia used weapons of mass destruction in Ukraine, it's likely to change NATO's stance on the conflict. Here, the government announces more details of a scheme to allow those fleeing the war to come to the UK, offering £350 a month for taking in Ukrainian refugees. Arrests at anti-war protests in Moscow after opposition groups call for Russia-wide demonstrations. Hello and welcome. Officials in Ukraine say at least 35 people have been killed and more than 130 others wounded in a Russian missile attack on a military base in the west of the country, a short drive from the Polish border. The attack, which took place in the far west of Ukraine, hit the military training base Yavoriv. The base was previously used for joint exercises and training with NATO. The attack on the base is part of a widening of Russian advances towards the west of Ukraine on the doorstep of a NATO member and away from the areas which Russian forces currently control, shown here in red. Russia's invasion force has advanced towards several Ukrainian cities with more intense fighting reported in the northern outskirts of the capital Kiev. Meanwhile, a US journalist has been killed in Ukraine. Brent Renaud was an award-winning filmmaker who had previously worked for the New York Times. He died in Irpin after the car he was travelling in came under attack. Another journalist was wounded.